What's going on, guys? This is Johnny. We're down here in the beautiful Lone Star State, Texas. Kind of give you a recap of what we got going on. So on this job, we're going to redo the whole driveway, but we're also, as you can see here, I'm cutting a drainage ditch. Nothing major, just get a little bit of a slope in here to get some drainage going. And we're going to do that all the way around the driveway. This place here's got some really shallow pipes and stuff, and so we got to be very careful how deep we're going. We talked it over with the customer, and we just want to get just a nice slope to where the water can drain. So with this tilt attach, instead of having to have a mini X, I can cut these ditches out pretty good. So that's what we're getting done right now. Gas line right there, but those are no, we're not going to go nowhere near that depth. We're just cutting probably 2 to 3 inches out, and right there we probably went about 4, but we'll come back and smooth this out. Just trying to get a quick start on getting everything cut, and then I want to do the cutting first before I start grading. That way I'm not putting mud or dirt or anything like that. Here's another swell we're going to cut. This one's going to go all the way to, there's a watershed down here that she wants to kind of make sure his water's going to. So I'm just going to do a nice slight cut. When you guys are grading like this, you don't want to take too much at a time, because then you lose your grade, and then you go too deep because you hit some soft spots like that right there. And so this really don't do too good turning, but just you want to do a nice gradual cut. Let me get this right here. And keep it nice and smooth. This tilt bucket is really good for that. The only thing about the tilt bucket is you got to get the right angle. And what I mean by that is, if you push it down too much, the bottom plate of the bucket will hit the ground, and you're not going to be cutting right. So it's just, the bottom plate of the bucket needs to be just about an inch above the ground, and then have about an inch of cutting. Like I said, you want to just take a gradual cut. As with any kind of grading, you don't want to do too much, because you will hit soft spots, and then it'll throw your grade off. So what I don't like is when this thing fills up, I can't see my cutting edge. But we're going to go ahead and cut it all the way through. And that's my wife filming. We use all that for our advertising. So hope you guys enjoyed that video I put out yesterday about how I got in the skid steer business. Like I said, it's a very good business to get into if your area has, like I said, whether you're doing driveways, dirt work, man, if you're creative, there's always you can always make money with the skid steer. There's always ways to make money with the skid steer. So whoa. See what I mean right there? Going too deep. We're eventually gonna get that deep, but I don't want to take it right now that deep. See, hit that spot right there, and I need to go dump this. But just gotta take these slight cuts. But anyways, if you guys get in the skid steer business, like I said, and for the guys that I've heard this argument, well, I can go out and finance a brand new skid. Why go with old? Well, that's also a good valid point, but it's nothing to do with the machine breaking down. What you're going to have to remember is, do you have the business and clientele? Now, when I started, I did, but I still didn't go out. I could have went out and financed a brand new machine, but I wasn't going to take that risk, because what happens is, you find $75,000 machine. And in 1 year, you realize, okay, this ain't gonna work. I'm not making no money. You ain't gonna get that money back for that machine. Now you're upside down. Nobody's gonna pay you that money. So that's why it's easier if you can. $15,000-$20,000. Just go and buy a machine, and that way, if it doesn't work out, you've got a better chance of recouping your 15-20 grand than you do when you're up. When you start getting in that 60, 70, 80, $100,000 range, it's just a very select few people that you have to afford it or buy it. Or you get to the point where my thinking is, I'm going to go spend $75,000 on a machine, or 60. I might as well just go buy a brand new. And that's the way a lot of people think. So if you go buy brand new off the bat, you're gonna have a lot of, if it doesn't work out, it's gonna be tough, man. Start out little. Don't need to, like I said, grow with the business. That's how I did the mowing too. We had a lot of yards, but I didn't go out and start buying, all brand new equipment until after, we had a lot of clientele, and we brought the equipment tailored to what we had. So, we didn't have a lot of huge yards. Most all our yards were, your residential 12 to 15,000 square feet. So we stuck with a lot of 36s and 48s. I kept one or two 54s I've got a big cemetery that I mowed, 18 acres. And so that's why we have those for. But anyways, like I said, start out small. You'll be glad that you did, and that way, in business there's always a risk, but you want to minimize that risk. That's the difference. When a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you got to risk it to get the biscuit," I completely agree with that, but you need to make calculated risks as far as what you're going to do. So let me get some of this ditch cut out, and then I'll tune you guys back in probably when we start doing the driveway. Alright guys, so we got the power rake out, and we're getting this driveway power raked. Once we get it all power raked, and I get the grade where I want it, then we'll go in with get the bucket again and start spreading all this limestone out. So main thing, what's good about this power rake, it knocks out all the imperfections on the driveway, and then it carries gravel up front, so it can drop those in the low areas. But at the same time, if there's potholes or washouts, depending on how deep they are, sometimes you got to go over them back and forth a couple times. But if they're minor, one pass and this thing chews them right up. You always got to remember when you're doing driveways, the potholes, you just can't fill them in. They have to be busted up. A lot of people, I see the mistake. And it's coming from customers. Oh, I just need some gravel to fill in my potholes. Well, that's never going to work, because you fill it up and they'll reform again. You have to be able to knock them out. And what I mean knock them out is completely break them up. That's the only way that you're gonna get away from or not having to go back all the time and fix those potholes. So whether you're using a power rake or a box blade, if you got a box blade, you need to run that ripper on them and rip them up. Because if you run a box blade and you're just filling in all the holes, you're not doing anything. You're not fixing anything long term. It's basically like putting a tiny little band-aid on something, because in a matter of, if not 2 to 3, 4 weeks, you're going to have those potholes or whatever the informities on those. If you don't rip them up, reform it again. So that's why it's very important that when you do driveways that you get it done right. Like I said, we charge a premium price, but we do that because we offer premium work, and that's that's our bread and butter right there. If you can do that, you can have a very successful business doing driveways. This driveway here, we got here at 9:30. It's 11:20 right now, and graded out, which I'll show y'all here in a little bit. All I gotta do is fine touch it, but it's already graded cut. Some spots were really high, some spots were really low. So our lower spots we left alone because we don't want to go any deeper, and in our high spots we cut out. But it came out really good. We've got a really nice tapered slope from this back corner to over here where you're looking at. There's a watershed, or a pond, I guess. It's a watershed right there. So this swell goes all the way back there. So when it rains, they direct all the water to fill that thing up. So, you see the power rate, man. This driveway, if you wanted to, which I talked to her about it, you could, we could have got away just power rate. There's enough material here to do it. If you just power rake the road, you want to try to make sure there's enough material. We've done them where there hadn't been enough material, but we still power raked and got them smooth, and gave the customer the option of if they wanted to bring gravel, we could bring it. They didn't, so. But it's always nice when you do power rake and there's a sufficient amount. They did the driveway right back in the days. They added this correct amount of gravel, and then of course over years, she's been adding to this, so it just builds up. But as you turn around here, look at that. That's let me clean this window up a little bit. That's one pass up, one pass back, and one pass back up. So 3 passes right there, and they're not even basically on the same. They're not going over the same because this driveway widens out here. But you can see how well this power rake works. So, very good investment to get if you're going to do driveways. And will cut your grading time down by, I'd say, 70%. Because what it would take me literally hours to grade this out with the bucket. As far as, getting it where I want it, getting it like this. And then at the same time, I'm fluffing this up, which we're going to compact everything, but this is just like a driveway like this, I would be here all day, from morning to dark, to do it with the bucket. I know it because that's how I used to do it. And this thing it cuts my work in, like I said, not even in half. It cuts it, like I said, cuts it down about 70%. So, and you can angle it. So like over here to my right, I've got a low spot, so I'm going to angle it, and I'm going to windrow some gravel over there. Same thing over here. I get up on this hill, and I'm going to angle it, and now I'm going to knock this little hill out. At the same time, I'm going to windrow all this excess gravel that got pushed over here over time, and I'm going to windrow it to the center. And then I'll come back and hit that center with the same angle, and I'll get it over to the far edge, and that's just using all my existing gravel. That way when I go to put my new gravel, I've already got a good, pretty leveled out area, and I'm not having to waste that gravel by building up one side more than the other. I just use what they got here, and then that way we can build a good, strong, dirty, durable road with the new gravel. So this thing has a lot of advantages, So, well, let me get some more of this work done, and I'll put you guys back on here in a little bit.
With unlimited Plus membership starting at just $16 monthly plus, we've got a special treat for you. Text Shed OK to 56106 now and get a free $20 for your month. That's right, check it out, okay?
but it came out really good. So we put a 4-inch base on this, and then the curb there, we ended up bringing it back, brought it up to almost, well, one spot almost 8 inches, but mainly 6 to bring that curb back up, and then cut the edge so it'll drain good. But instead of being a hill there, it's sloped out good. So other than that, this driveway is about a wrap. Came out really good, very happy, had it worked out. So now I'm just gonna get all the equipment loaded. I got to get the drone up in the air, get some aerial shots, and this will be it. So it is 2:30, and we started at 9:30, something like that. I'll have to look at my clock. And just to show you, and that's 40 tons of gravel, power raking, grading out this ditch over here on the side. And so by the time I get everything loaded up, strap down, 3 o'clock. So you can do the math on that. 9:30 to 3. Didn't take a lunch. I don't ever take a lunch. I work, unless it's going to be a job I know I'm going to be there a day or two. But other than that, you know, get these things done, get out, and on to the next one. So, but it's these machines. If you've got the right equipment, you can get the work done really quick. It's not about cutting corners or anything like that. It makes the work so much easier and quicker compared to just, you know, having a bucket. Like I said, I've been down that road. I know exactly what it's like to just have a bucket. And like I said, I would still be here. I'd probably be at least a couple hours. Well, I won't say a couple hours, but probably at least an hour and a half of just trying to roll the thing. Happy how it came out. Customer did a walkthrough. She's happy with everything. So she shouldn't have any problems now. Road ain't gonna be flooding. We're well above grade. Got a good crown in it. These crowns, I can't ever get them to show up on camera because they're not very big. They're slightly. You don't want a huge crown, then you get a big old swell in the center, and that ain't good. So everything's got to be moderate, you know. Same thing with this ditch. The ditch don't need to be a huge deep ditch. Just need to be sloped slightly, catch the water, let the water run off nice and easy. You know, you get where you get 3 inches of rain in 30 minutes. It don't matter what kind of ditch you got, it's gonna flood regardless. But for the average rainfall around here, just if it rains lightly all day or whatever, everything's sloped really good, and it'll drain properly. So that's all we're looking for. I see some guys, they dig these big old massive ditches for these little driveways, and it don't make no sense because you don't need all that. It's like with grade. When if you know grade work, it's very slight. It's not depending on what you're doing, but it's really slight work. Just little adjustments here and there goes a long ways. Especially, we got a 2-inch fall from up here to this corner up here to the back end of that watershed. And that's a good distance. But you don't need it to. It's got to be very slightly. It's got to be a proper drainage right here. So, guys, I hope you liked the video, and let me know if there's anything you want me to touch up on equipment wise or what I would recommend. Like I said, any questions about what we run, just holler at me, leave me a message and let me know, and we'll go from there. I'll see if I can put the drone footage in here. I doubt I will. And you guys understand something. Most times I record off my phone. I don't do the 12 hours editing because I do not care to be paid by Facebook. I don't need, or not Facebook, but YouTube. I don't need the money from it. Wouldn't complain, it'd be nice, but I'm not going to sit here and do 8 hours of editing. that's crazy. Now for the guys that they want to make a living off YouTube, I guess it's alright. I mean, it's like a job. So what you get is what you get. It's on my phone, and then I got a DJI camera that's on my window now. It's brand new, and I just now started using it. I've had it for several months. I got it back in December when I got my drone. But yeah. So if there's I had someone ask me about how I was shooting the video. It's off. I've got a Galaxy Ultra 24 Samsung. So like I said, I cut these videos on a quick editor that I downloaded. It takes me like 5 minutes. I can put a video together in under 10 minutes. But I ain't got the time to be sitting there no 8-9 hours like I hear these guys doing. So anyways, thanks for watching.